Hello my friends, how are you today? I'm Andres from Motorfanatics and welcome to a new video. In this video we're gonna work on a Subaru, talk a little bit about welder, why all of a sudden I've got a welder from a different company, and then we put in back the fuel tank. Which means one of the next episodes we gotta stop talking about welder and start talking about the rear axle. So let's get it on. Actually, I just yesterday wanted to mount the brake lines, the rear brake lines, and noticed the rear brake line bracket still was in my sanding cabinet. So it sanded, the rust primer is on and dry, so it gets a little bit black color, and then it's onto the car with it. So I now finally got myself a spray cap connector that works with this can. And now I'm gonna use all the little clip holes, which later on will hold the brake line, to spray some undercarriage sealer, rust stopper into the frame. So a little bit later, I'm gonna say a little bit, I mean a lot later, I finally found the error of my ways, or the error of the brake line. This line, the right line, was completely bent. You couldn't see it. It looked like factory, but it was completely bent. Now it fits in place. Next step was to attach the braided brake hoses, or the braided brake line, and yeah, it looks a little bit empty and lonely in there, but I can't put in the rear axle unless I put in the fuel tank, and I can't put in the fuel tank because the flat steel bands that fixed the fuel tank to the underbody are still drying up from deruster and will be painted tomorrow, which should still be plenty of time, but yeah, tomorrow would be for you like. So another step forward. Let me show you. The fuel tank is back in its home. It did take a little bit of time and persuasion, but since the brake lines are back in their place and the fuel hoses have arrived, which I still will have to cut to their corresponding size and attach, it was actually no big of a deal to put the fuel tank back in. I did use zinc coated screws instead of the rusty old ones. Everything is tight. I've still got space over here for the wiring of the fuel tank, of the fuel pump, for the brake hoses and for the ABS connectors. Same on the other side for the ABS connector. There's a hole supposed to be here somewhere. Oh, there it is. There somewhere. There it is. A few zip ties to fix the shield, and then it's actually next step. Get the rear axle back in, make it drivable. In addition, talking about welder. A new welder has arrived yet again, and it's a, I wouldn't say hilarious story, but it's quite a story. As you can see, this is not by our, I would call it, usual supplier, and it's a weird story. Why? So sit down with me and give me a minute to explain. So what did happen? As you guys might have seen in the last episodes, I've got a MIG welder and a TIG welder from the company Stahlwerk. The MIG mag welder that does a really decent job has been purchased a few weeks ago, and although I've got two 0.8mm nozzles and no 0.6mm nozzle, the rest of the welder is top notch. For that price point, there's nothing wrong on this thing. The other one, on the other hand, that's a slightly more complicated story. First thing you gotta know is I've bought the TIG welder almost 3 years ago. Never unpacked it, never used it, clearly my mistake. Okay, so far. And I recently, when I prepared myself for the welding episodes, tried to refresh my knowledge about welding, everything, and I noticed that for welding aluminum or aluminium, when you're this side of the pond, you need an AC welder, alternating current. And my TIG welder only has DC. So not alternating current. And the thing is, the description from the seller, I bought it on Amazon, said you can use this with additional materials like steel, stainless, aluminum, etc. And so I wrote him, hey, I know it's been an awful lot of time. I know I can't get a new welder from you guys, but here, look at that. The description is wrong, and not only did they not admit that the description was wrong, although their new description explicitly in the headline said, not for aluminum, they tried to one-up me and say, oh no, we wrote it as DC current, everybody that buys knows DC current is not for aluminum. Yes, if you're a professional shop selling to professional people, that's true. If you're a regular seller selling to private people and non-professionals on Amazon, eBay, etc., it's highly debatable. Let me get one point straight. I do not at any time expected them to just ship me out a different welder. I tried it, as everybody would probably do, but I had complete understanding as I said, sorry, no, it's even beyond state mandatory 2-year warranty. And I said, yes, of course, I know. But the first email contact was pretty negative. Like I said, with the DC thing, trying to make me look stupider than I am, or more stupid. And that was pretty much it. So I was pissed, told them, hey, that's not very kind of you. And as a consumer, I'd like to have this reviewed by a lawyer or consumer protection agency. Although I not really had the intention, and I already know it would have been pretty fruitless, but let's be honest here, I tried. For me, actually, that was it, and I planned to talk about that in that way in last week's episode, but didn't cut it in because they called me, they gave me a call, oh hello, yeah, you had one of our agents on email contact, and we're sorry, you know, it's over time, it's overdue, and I was, okay, yes, fine, and then they were so nice and offered me a 10%, roughly 10% discount on an AC/DC welder, which is more than I could ask for, which is completely fine and very nice by them. And I said, yes, that's very kind of you, let me think about it for a week, I will read everything through from the specific welder from Stahlwerk if I want to buy it or not. And lo and behold, the topic says one welder, the flow text says another. And I wrote to them, hey, listen up, the welder sounds nice for me, the price is fair, but the topic says it's an AC/DC welder, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, dot, that's it. The flowing text in the first paragraph says AC/DC phase controlled welder, so that you can phase like this one. Set a phase which makes welding supposedly, I wouldn't say easier, but gives you more options for better welds. And I wrote to them, hey, look at that, it looks like you might have an error in your description yet again. Again, what I said was completely ignored. And they acted like I was stupid. Oh, no, 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 no. If you want a welder with phase control, with phasing, oh no, that's more expensive. How could you mistake one for the other? So I had to take a screenshot, make a big fat red rectangle around it to tell them, hey, look at that. You write the name of the product like that, and in the description you tell people this thing can do stuff it can't. Like the first time. And at that moment I was pretty pissed. So, this company, Vector, with their welders named after famous cities, this one London, offered me the same price with a far better discount for a welder which can do AC, DC and has phase control. And as you can see, if I take you a little bit closer, this thing, like a good professional welder, it's not a professional welder, I say just like a good one, has all the insignia, all the settings you would expect. Like the ramp up, the ramp down, pre-flow, after flow of gas, frequency, AC, DC. Obviously it can do MMA as well. You can save different jobs, which means you have presettings you can recall or load pretty quick. And so this thing supposedly is a better bang for the buck and delivers more for the money. And delivers more power and more options. And that's pretty much what I'm going to test as soon as I get my hands on a bottle of pure argon. Argon, not agony. And then we'll see. Both TIG welders seem to be interchangeable with a few parts, so we'll just buy the best version, build the best version out of two, and probably sell the rest secondhand or give it away or whatnot. Because I'm pretty much done with the Stahlwerk guys. Let me say it again, it's not that their product is bad. It's not even that their telephone support is bad, because they tried to solve it and they gave me a discount and yada yada yada. It's fine, it's okay. But the experience twice to tell the email support that their product is described wrong leads me to believe that it's maybe on purpose. I can't say for sure. It's not an allegation. It's just a feeling, a gut feeling. Yeah, it's a gut feeling. So I don't think it's necessary for them to do that because the quality speaks for itself, the prices are fair. But yeah, another company jumped in, helped me out. And so we're gonna use the Stahlwerk Make Mag welder, no problem at all, as long as it does its job. I'm gonna keep it. But for TIG welding, we're going another route. Oh boy. This was far too long. I'm sorry guys. Back to cars. Cars are far more fun than drama stuff like that. You see guys, I'm very proud that the fuel tank is back in, and you will soon notice why I'm not looking into your eyes. Because I'm taking stuff from the table that should be on the fuel tank. Or more specific. Jesus, what's going on? On the metal bands that hold the fuel tank. So this thing will get supported again and everything will go loose. And this should be fine. Next step, fuel lines. Here we go. Now everything on this side is back connected. There are now only two hoses missing, which are the fill-in for the tank, the filler, which would go on there, and the evap, which is half on, evap, which is which also goes up to the filler. Can't remember the name for the life of me. Which means now, but this will have to wait, because since I am considering moving the fuel tank filler, the hose, the pipe, whatever you want to call it, and rerouting it into the truck, I will at the moment refrain from connecting them, because if I reroute everything, why do the hassle of getting this old hose back on? So I just leave it there. There's good fuel in the tank if I want to start the car. I can do, so no need to work twice. No need to do work twice, since I'm already done this work twice. I will now fasten these things with a few original JDM zip ties. And that's pretty much it. This whole JDM zip tie thing obviously was a joke, although in today's world, unfortunately, I believe there probably are people that would pay premium for a zip tie just because somebody decides to tell them they were probably ripped off a Silvia or an A86, Archirocco, or some other stuff, some other JDM car, just to fetch a premium. But that's the world in which we today live in. So, if you want to buy original JDM zip ties made in Germany, sold in Germany, which have been in a Skyline, namely my own, at least for 5 minutes, promise, call me, just $10 a piece. No, don't call me, don't buy shit like that. Zip ties are zip ties, no matter where they are from. They're probably all from China, no matter where they're sold. So, that took some time. Unfortunately, it's still raining, but we got the fuel tank back in and the rubber covers too. The fuel lines are sitting where they're supposed to be. And we've talked about the welder issue. Sorry for that, I wouldn't call it drama, but it's a funny story, I guess. Yeah, the welding stuff. The nozzle, as you have seen, the 0.6mm nozzle has arrived. So that's the other option for next week's episode. Start closing the gaps on this side and obviously on that side too. Let's see what I can do next week and how the weather is, because at the moment it's not fun. And that's pretty much it for this week, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't want to miss any future videos, consider subscribing. And if you got any question, ideas, or good advice, write it down in the comments. And we see each other next time. Bye bye.